I feel like at some point, it's like every Scream movie, you suspect everyone at some point, and that's the point. So it's like you could, at any point, you're like, oh, I called that, but it's like you probably called everyone too at some point. Hey, we're the cast of Scream, and we are going to be reacting to some of Scream's most iconic moments.
Scream's most iconic moments.
Most iconic moments.
Your call.
I still, even though I could barely see that image, I knew exactly what sequence it is. It's one of the most terrifying sequences I think ever captured on film. It's Drew Barrymore from Scream 1 making the popcorn, and all hell is about to break loose.
Yep.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrifying.
Iconic.
I mean, it's gotta be one of my favorite scenes of all time, not only because Drew's performance is so impactful, and also hearing Ghostface's voice for the first time, and just knowing that it was the start of such an incredible franchise. It's really exciting, but I also think that it's written so well. Kevin Williamson, I consider this scene a love letter to cinema. It could not be more perfect if you tried.
I saw that movie in the theater. My son here was probably too young, and it was absolutely terrifying. I mean, we were just all gasping in horror, and it made you afraid to be home alone. This was when we had landlines, so we were, the fact that he knew her landline and was calling her at her house, and it was so perfectly teased. The suspense was just spot on.
That scene is iconic, but I think the thing that makes it so genius and why I love the scene so much is the fact that you're so used to like the main character surviving, right? Throughout a horror film. And I think it was so unexpected for people to see Drew being killed right after the first scene. And like that is what really made it so special.
I saw the movie just a few years ago, and then when I was like preparing for the movie, I was reading trivia about the original one, and like what you said, they put Drew on the poster, so everyone thought she was the main character, and when she's killed off in the first scene, it was like never had been done before. It's really, groundbreaking and cool and iconic, so that's what it means to me, yeah.
That whole scene, I mean, she's so on point, and her scream is impeccable.
It's the suspense, it's the tension, it's the Ghostface toying with her. It's what I feel like set up this franchise to be what it is now. That scene started it all. I think without that scene, maybe it would be a little different now. Who knows?
These days, it's all about the trial. Can't you see it? The effects of cinema violence on society. I'll get Dershowitz or Cochran to represent me. Bob Dole on the witness stand in my defense. Hell, the Christian Coalition will pay my legal fees. It's airtight, Sid. I'm an innocent victim.
You're a psychotic.
Yeah, well, shh. That'll be our little secret. Because people love a good trial. It's like theater, they're dying for it. And I've worked hard to give the audience what they want. See, that's what Billy was good at. He knew. It's all about execution.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny, I hadn't seen Scream 2 or 3 before. I saw Scream 4 in theaters. I hadn't seen 2 or 3 until I found out I was doing this, because I always wanted to, but I just didn't. So I watched them all in order before coming here, and yeah, like for me, it was like, when I first saw that, I was like, how do you follow up the reveal of the killers in the first one? And this, like, who is it gonna be? Why? And I realized, like, that's the point of these sequels. Like, every time, it's like, what draws you to it is it's a mystery. So yeah, I feel like I was pretty shocked. I was shocked, yeah.
Not Timothy Olyphant.
I know.
And Laurie Metcalf.
I
what?
know.
And there were 2 killers ultimately, and you're just shocked that they're in partnership.
Yep.
Doing these dastardly deeds.
I feel like at some point, it's like every Scream movie, you suspect everyone at some point, and that's the point. So it's like you could, at any point, you're like, oh, I called that, but it's like you probably called everyone too at some point.
If it's done well, everyone is equal parts potential victim, potential suspect, right?
Dale, Jennifer, up here.
Julie, here. You got Roman and Angelina too. We'll be safe if we stick together, won't we?
Of course. Why? Oh shit!
You got this like ghost face, and he's so scary. But then he does something funny. Am I Scottish?
It's bleeding. It's going in and out.
What do you think of that scene, Mason?
I think that scene is both hilarious as well as effective, because the level of strength behind that sucker punch was strong enough to displace a grown person from their current place of standing across the. It's perfect. It's great direction.
Quite lovely,
It's great
actually.
action.
I would watch it again, but I know you have more to show us, so I'm ready.
Dale! Dale, behind you!
I mean, you never know when you're meeting big celebrities what energy you're going to get, especially because we were coming into their territory. You know, they could have just written us off, but they were so welcoming and kind. Nev had us over to her beach house.
Right.
David taught us to paint. Courtney had us over for karaoke. I love them. I love them all. Each one.
I was super intimidated at first. I didn't know what to expect because I grew up loving them and I love the film so much, and I was such a huge fan of all three of them. And I think the thing that I loved was that they just instantly like made us feel so comfortable and like a part of kind of sort of this like Scream family, and made us feel like, you know, we're part of it and whatever we need, and they made us feel included, and that was really lovely. And it's just such an honor to be in a film with them and to be a part of it. Yeah.
It was surreal. I mean, even when we were on set and we were playing with knives or blocking, because we had a few days for rehearsal, because you could tell even in the trailer that scene is very complex and there's a lot of fighting and moving around. But the scene itself, it was really exciting, especially because it being one of my favorite scenes ever. But I also felt enormous pressure to do it right and I don't know, pay homage while also starting something new and fresh.
The first time I saw Scream was embarrassingly not until we were shooting the movie. I had never seen it. I didn't even know what the heck I signed up to do because I wasn't allowed to watch a lot of films. And then I watched it and thought, wow, this is so brilliant. I can't believe I'm a part of this show, movie, series of films, and here we are.
That's right.
It is a perfect, like, meta, tongue-in-cheek sort of takedown of its own genre, but while being an extremely effective horror, thriller, slasher movie, and it's just so much fun, and it's kind of just the most appropriately captured tone of any sort of horror movie ever. Like, it's everything you want. Which I feel like with this movie, you know, I think they did a really great job at capturing that same feeling.
Thanks for watching us react to Scream's most iconic moments. Make sure you check out Scream now.
Now.